Alright, we are done with the settings. Hopefully I didn't bore you to tears there. And also, if you already know how to do some of this stuff, hopefully you just skip right through it and we'll move right along. Alright, now usually the first thing I do is set up my model. And like I said, this is going to be a very simple project. We're just going to set up a basic model called Casino. And if you've never worked with models before, models basically create data and store it in the database, and this will basically just create a table for that data so that all the casino related data will be stored in a casino database. So do class casino, model.model, give it a name, and models.char field. And this is just a same thing as a varchar in a database, in a PostgreSQL database. So max length is required on all char fields, and for a casino name we shouldn't need more than 50 characters. We'll give it the address, models.char field, max length equals, just to be safe we'll say 255, which is the max amount for a char field. And good measure, almost on all my models I'll do a created at equals models date time field, and you do auto now add true, and this will just automatically create a timestamp whenever you create any instance of casino. And we'll also do modified at, and for this one it's auto now equals true. We'll just create a timestamp whenever it's updated. Finally, return self.name. Okay, and this double underscore str, looks kind of weird if you've never dealt with it before, but it's actually really simple. And all it's doing is if you print an instance of a casino, it doesn't really know what to print, so this just tells you, okay, print the name of the casino if you're saying just print. So that comes in handy later also. Okay, now we have our model set up. We can create a new file in our directory, and we'll call it serializers.py. And inside here we're going to create our serializer, and what a serializer is doing is just converting data from the database into JSON data so you can feed it through the API, or conversely taking in JSON data and converting that into data you can store in the database. So we'll do from REST Framework, and we'll import serializers. And we'll just create one serializer for our casino model. We'll call it casino serializer. And then we'll inherit serializers.model serializer. And this name can be anything you want, but it's pretty good convention. Just give it the name of the model you created followed by serializer. Inside here, and this is where Django does a lot of heavy lifting for you. It makes it really simple. So class meta, you give it the model, which is our casino. Oops. And you also have to import this. In PyCharm, the easiest way is just to click on casino, press Alt Enter, and it'll look around for casino, and it'll find it here in casino finder.models, and it'll import for you. So just by clicking Alt Enter, you can import it easily. And finally, we need to specify the fields that we want on the serializer. So when we're reading the casino field, we might want to know the ID of it. And we're also going to want to know the name and the address. And that's it for serializers. So next up we need to create the view, and Django views are the controller and any other MVC but in Django they call it the view, but this is where the logic is happening. This is where the control is happening. So here, from REST Framework, we can import generics, and we'll create a generic list create API view. We'll call it list create casinos, and we'll inherit generics.list create API view. And again, this is where Django is really doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It's doing a lot of stuff under the hood that we don't even have to worry about. It just makes it so easy to create a list and create API view. So here, query set, and this is a little bit awkward looking, but you can just do casino.objects.all. And then you also have to define a serializer class, and for us it's our casino serializer. And once again, these are not imported, so the easiest way I like to do it is click Alt-Enter, import it, Alt-Enter, and from serializers, import it. Okay, our view is set up. The last thing we have to do is step into our URLs. And you could create a separate URLs if you're going to have an API up here, but since we're just going to have one URL here, I'll just add it here. And it's a little funny if you've never seen it before, but it's regex, and that's all this R represents, is that this is a regex statement in here, and this caret represents the start of it, and this will just look for URLs with this string. So we'll just say API/casinos. And here we need to import our view, which was list create casinos as view. And again, I can press Alt-Enter here, and then I'll just import it here from casino binder views, import list create casinos. And we can give this our URL name, which might not be necessary, but in the future we might want it. So list casinos. And like I said, this isn't necessary, but I'm throwing it in there now anyway. Okay, now I think that should be good, and we can give it a test run. So let's try pressing play. Or run, I'm sorry. Try running it up here. And we'll navigate over to localhost 8000. And we'll try our URL here, API/casinos/API/casinos. And of course it does not work, and I already know why. It's because I forgot to migrate. So back over in the shell, we have to run python manage migrate. Okay, and that was our initial migration. We actually did not add our model yet, and every time you create a new model you have to, or alter a model, you have to run python manage make migrations. As you can see, notes that we added the model casino. We can now migrate again. And okay, at this point we can try running it again and see if it works. Okay, and here you go. This is our very basic list and create REST Framework API. And the Django REST Framework has a great, really simple interface that when you come to this endpoint, it'll list all the casinos for you, or it gives you this form at the bottom that you can try posting to yourself. So we'll just create a new one. We'll call it Bellagio. Actually, we're going to use that later, so we'll just make up a name for now. Pizza Casino. And we'll give it 10 Happy Street. Post. And as you can see now, we have a newly created casino. ID 1, name Pizza Casino, and address of 10 Happy Street. So another great thing about Django is it gives you a really easy to use admin. In order to use the admin though, we'll have to go over and create a super user. So you can do that by doing Python manage create a super user. And username, you can enter username or use the one they're providing. I'm going to use the one they're providing there. Email address, don't really need a real email for this, I'll just give it a BS one. Password, I believe the password has to be 8 characters long. And super user now is created successfully. So super user has access to the admin panel. So now I can go in here, type Peter Flynn, and voila, I'm inside the admin. Now you notice that casinos does not show up here. And the reason is we have this admin py file. We actually have to register it here, and then we'll be able to make changes to it in the admin. So here, I'm going to add this decorator. And just register the casino model. I'm just going to press Alt Enter, import it. Okay, and here, all you need here is a list display. And here in the admin, you just display whatever field you'd like to see. So for us, we'd like to see the ID, the name, and the address. And why not? We can throw in created at and modified at. Okay. Now if we run it again, oh, it's already running. Now if we refresh the page, you'll see that we have this admin area here, and we have casinos. And this makes it very easy to see all the casino objects you have. You can add them here. So here we can do it's casino 2, and we'll say it's on 25 Sad Lane, because everybody's losing at this casino. Okay. And see, you can create an admin here. So there's 2 different ways you can manage your API here. And this is where your front-end developers can come and they can practice sending post requests up to see what's happening. And that is it. That is the end of this tutorial on how to create a basic list view. In the next video, we're going to start using PostGIS so that we can query how far away casinos are, and we'll get that. See over there. We'll get that next. Okay. Bye.